Alright, back a little earlier. Sure enough, it spawned a monster. A spider. Thought you guys might want to see this. Ooh, he took some damage. Alright, we got this. Yeah, what you got, buddy? You got nothing. Oh, yeah. Alright, so, yeah. It wouldn't spawn, they don't spawn down here, they spawn up on top of the logs. So, alright, guys. I just thought you might be interested in seeing the combat, my tactical skills. And I'll. Damn it. We'll be back. Okay, crisis averted. So I forgot to explain how I died. So I put the water, excuse me, in 4 logs, and they didn't catch fire, which I thought a little odd. But I fell in to the fire water, and I started taking burn damage and caught on fire. So that's why I say it's a little odd that the wood is not burning, but I did, and that's how I ended up dying. Um, okay, so back to how this works. Let's say, and for all intents and purposes, we need a pickaxe. So a pickaxe, we click on this, and I already know the answer, but what we need is we need a tool rod, a pickaxe head, and binding. Now I know for a fact that certain materials are going to give certain properties, shall we say. Um, so, and I suggest if you're not familiar with Tinker's Construct, to definitely refer to this book. And it's going to seem very complicated at first, materials and you. Um, but read this book. It will help a little bit, and hopefully I can kind of polish off some of the rougher edges. But um, basically, these are the different tools and weapons you can make. Um, and what we're going to do, and it'll tell you some of the different properties of each of these things. What we're going to do is we're going to look at some of this stuff. And I'm going to kind of break this down. So, in the case of the pickaxe here, we have a head, we have a binder or extra, and we have the handle. So if we go back into here, you have the head, the handle, and the extra. And if you look at these, the head has a durability. In this case, wood has a durability of 35. You're going to get 35 uses out of this, except that you're not. You're actually going to get more, and that comes into play with the handle. So the handle also has a durability, but it has this modifier. So take stone for an example. Its modifier, and the tooltip is kind of getting in the way, but the modifier is 0.5. That means that because it's a stone handle, any of your durability is actually going to be cut in half. Modifier is 0.5, so 120 times 0.5 is 60. A stone head is only going to give you 60 uses, and except that the durability of the stone handle is minus 50, so you're going to get 10 durability, excuse me, out of a stone head, stone handle. Not good. And then we have the extra, and in this case, stone actually is better than wood. Okay, but there are some better ones out there. Let's take obsidian. An obsidian extra give you a durability of 90. But if we use paper, its durability is lower, but we get this writable. Um, This is kind of horse or putting the cart before the horse. When you make these tools, you're going to be able to put modifiers on them. And if we page through the book here, we come to the modifiers. And there's a bunch of modifiers here. Okay. Oops. So we got fins and webbed, glowing, sulking, blasting, knockback, fiery, necrotic, smite, reinforced, silk touch, fortified, diamond, luck, sharp, haste. All of these things mean something. You don't enchant. You're not going to use an enchanting table and get a bunch of library books and, put 30 levels on these things to get enchanting. No. You want to mine faster? Well, then you put on haste. Adding redstone to a tool seems to increase its speed. Redstone's mining speed effects is more potent on slower tools. Redstone, crazy stuff, alright? Am I right? Effects. Each redstone dust increases mining speed by a small amount. Increases attack speed, and there's multiple levels. Basically, when you come in here, you put your tool in here, you put your redstone in one of these second slots, and you click on the results, and it will increase its speed. And again, when we go back into here, different materials have different speeds. Wood has a mining speed of 2. Stone, mining speed of 4. So we have a 7.7 is obsidian. Paper, wood, iron, pig iron. Trying to find the big ones here. 12. There we go. There's a 12. Cobalt. Cobalt is found in the nether, so is ardite. And the two of these smelted together will give you Manalium. Its speed is actually slower than the cobalt. But notice this durability is 780. This is 820. This is 990, but its mining speed is a 3.5. So if you mix the two of these together, will you get a slightly slower than cobalt mining speed, but more durable, lower durability, but a faster mining speed. And you end up with Malium. So it's 820 and 7.02. Again, with the right handle, this number isn't going to be 820. So it's very customizable in what you can, how you can mix and match stuff. Basically, these are all the different materials that you can use to build your tools/weapons. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use some paper because, as you saw, paper was a thing that we could use. We're also going to use obsidian, which I know sounds a little odd. And the last thing we're going to use is going to be bone. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some bone meal. We're going to make our handles. There we go. We're going to make our handles out of bones. We're going to use the paper for the extras and the obsidian for the actual heads. So, going back to our pick, we need the axe head, we need the binding, and we need a tool rod. Alright, so if you come over here, we need to actually get those things here. So here's the pickaxe. So we click on this and hover over this and it says pickaxe head pattern. Material cost is 2. Alright, this is going to play a bigger role here in a little bit. So we're going to grab this and we're just going to put it in our pattern chest. And just so you can see that this, guys, we open this up and boom, it's in here. Very nice. So next we need the binding pattern, material cost 1. Now you'll notice there's another binding here. This is a tough binding pattern, material cost 3. So if you don't know what you're doing, definitely hover over this, or click on the thing that you want and then read what its components are. Tool rod, pickaxe head, and a binding. Okay, so too many escapes. We need the binding. Put that over there. And a tool rod pattern. Material cost 1. All right, great. So we've got those things in there. Great. Now we have the part builder. So we need to build these parts. Well, what we're going to do is this first round, we're going to put this in here. And this says that its material cost is 2. Now I told you we were going to make this out of obsidian. Well, I can't bring obsidian over here and put it into this. It doesn't work like that. In fact, any of the molten metals you can't put into this. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a die, or excuse me, a cast. And how way we're going to do that is you can either use wood or cobblestone. We're going to use cobblestone, so we're going to put a cobblestone in there. Material value stone 1. All right, so if we put another one in here, there we go, it's 2. So now we have the stone pickaxe head. We can put this back. We're going to put the binding in here as well. Value of 1. And actually, while we're at it, we might as well, we need 4 of these. We'll make the paper binding. This is so that we can make the cast, but this is so that we can craft it. And then last, we're going to make that tool rod. It only needs 1. And we're not making that out of paper. Good. Making it out of bone. Now, as you can see, that actually worked. But what if you had bone meal? Well, the good news is bone meal is going to cost you a little bit more, but you could do that. And in fact, if you put something in here that is requires a portion of the material that you're putting in, you'll get a remainder. That's what this is. So if this really only cost 0.75 of the bone, you would get like some bone meal back. But in this case, it's not going to do that. So we'll take our bone tool rod, and the reason we didn't use these, why we use stone for these casting, is because it's actually going to be destroyed when we cast it. So now we need the molten aluminum brass. So we switched to it by clicking on it. And then we're going to put these down on the table and pour the aluminum brass out. And when it's done drying, it gets destroyed. Pop that out, put in that. That'll get destroyed. And then finally the tool rod. Now we don't actually need these 3, or these 2, so we're just going to store them. We're going to put this down, and we're going to switch to our obsidian. And we're going to pour that out. And that'll set up here in just a quick second. 80, 90, there we go. We're going to pop that out and then pop the cast out and put it away. So now we have our obsidian pickaxe head, our bone tool rod, and our paper binding. We're going to come in here, we're going to select this, and we're going to put them in, and we get an obsidian pickaxe. And you'll notice that the level is, or excuse me, that the durability is 219. So if we go back to our book, we can calculate that out. So bone is a modifier of 1.1. Obsidian is 139. So 139 times 1.1 plus the paper of 15. And the fact that the obsidian has, the bone has a durability 200. How's that playing? It's not. Okay. So then it's just taking the pickaxe. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we'll call this okay, pick 01. So yes, we can name it. Doesn't cost us any XP level. Featured, it's as good as sound. Your tool lasts longer most of the time. And because it's made of obsidian, it's able to mine up cobalt. It has 4 modifiers that can be put on it. Its mining speed is 7.7, and it's writable, and that's this modifier stuff. If we had made this with something else instead of that paper, we wouldn't be able to put 4 modifiers on it. So again, what are modifiers? Well, you've got redstone. You can put on luck, which is lapis lazuli, which basically, well, it's like fortune or looting. You can put sharpness on it, which is nether quartz. You can put a diamond on it, which basically it will increase its mining level up to obsidian if it was below it. It also adds a set amount of durability. I think it's, unless they've changed it, it used to be a 500 durability increase. They may have changed it. You can add an emerald, and that will increase the durability by 50%. And if you can't mine iron, it will be able to now. Yes, single use, single use. You can only put one of these onto your tools, whereas luck or sharp or redstone, you can put multiples of them. In fact, to the extent that it says it has 4 modifiers, you could put all 4 modifiers as being redstone. But the maximum, so when you put on redstone dust, it counts that as a modifier slot. However, I think again, this was going off of old stuff. It used to be 50 redstone would be considered the first modifier. If you put a 51st one on, it would say, okay, now you're down to 2 modifiers because you're using up 2 modifiers. So you could put 100 on at that point, each one increasing the mining speed of your tool a little bit. So that's how you use Tinker's Construct tools. Now, because this is an obsidian axe, at some point and or time, which, let's see, if we hover over it, it's got 219 uses. Okay, so boom, we've just used a use of it, except that, you notice, we actually didn't. And that's, again, some of the obsidian coming through. But once we actually use this thing up and it breaks, we don't lose the tool, guys. It breaks, and what will happen is you'll be mining along, and all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, only it'll be a lot slower than that. It'd be like, It'd be like trying to break obsidian with your fist. You'll be swinging away, and what normally would take you a few seconds to break the block, it won't break. And that's how you know your tool needs to be repaired at that point. You bring it back to the tool forge, place it here, and you put the primary, the head material in here, and you'll be able to repair it up. Which, again, when we get to that point where I can show you that, I'll go over that in a little bit more detail. So that's Tigger's Construct tools. I will make the rest of my tools off camera, and this is about to, oh no, it's only at 70%. Probably gonna make up an axe. Probably gonna end up making some type of a weapon. I've had enough mobs show up that I might want to have a weapon. I think that's it. I am hoping to have some not Ex Nihilo, Ender IO machines up here and running next time, and we'll go over what they do, how to make them. But for now, thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.